everyone, and for all those Quebecers out there, happy Saint Jean de Baptiste weekend celebration. It's been beautiful up here, gorgeous, gorgeous days. I just wanted to say thank you for everyone that's reached out and given me positive feedback about the book. That's the whole reason why I wrote it, was to help you guys. And just like my videos, my blog, Twitter, everything, it's all about sharing with you guys and sharing my experience. Not that I am the be-all master guru, like some haters like to call me out on Twitter saying I'm an awful guru. I don't claim to be that. I claim to be here to help share my experience with you, share my journey, also share what I've learned, because that's how I learned. And that's what the book is all about as well. So check it out on Amazon. And if you've read it, I would love an awesome positive review, or a realistic review, obviously. Everyone that's written back has loved it. So definitely check it out. And, a lot of what I do is I share what's happened in my week. Like this week, my daughter, the 5-month-old, is now having problems with her sleep. So I'm trying to get her, sleep train her to get to where she can be asleep for open so I can be in front of the computer instead of having a screaming baby that has a dirty diaper and distracts me. When that happens, life happens, whatever it is, be aware and do what you need to do. For me, that means just watching at that point. If I'm not able to give it 100%, then I'm not going to just do it half-assed. I'm going to watch, and I'm not going to force any trades. Being a sniper and waiting for the right setups is really what it's about. If you jump into the market without any training, without any knowledge, without any plan, guess what? Market is more than likely going to take your money. So trade smart, trade with risk management. A lot of what my price targets have now, I have the support and resistance, so I would size accordingly based on those numbers. Know that if you are getting in at a support level and you're going long, then you have less risk. However, if you're going short at a support level, you might have up to the resistance for a stop that you're going to risk. So just be aware of that when you are trading. It's all about keeping your gains larger than your losses. That's how you're going to grow your account. As I always say, carpe profit, because each little growth is going to grow it overall. It's like the saying, 15% of the people do 85% of the work. Well, roughly 15% of your trades are going to be those big home runs that are going to grow your account massively. And then the other 85% will maybe grow at 15%, but you're still going to be able to grow your account. So just keep those gains larger than your losses. I did have Stan write in. He had a question about CARA, C-A-R-A, on Friday, as I was talking about the topping tails on the chart, which you can see. What I was talking about in the first half an hour was that the topping tails, it looks like a candle, basically, the candlestick chart. So you have a wick to the top, meaning that the buyers have not been able to drive the price back up. In fact, it's the sellers driving the price down. So it gapped up, spiked up at open, and then the sellers pushed it down. They pushed it down quite a bit, and then the buyers bought it back up a little bit. The second candle again had a big topping tail to it, so a wick to the top side, showing that the sellers were able to push it down and the buyers were not able to keep that momentum going to the upside. So it was more of a short right at open. And then you can see it did find support and it bounced back up, and it looked like it was along for a little bit until it hit its resistance point of 23.50. As I was saying on Friday, 23.52 is my resistance to be broken, because 23.50 did hold strong for a second time in the day, and then it sold off again, bottomed, and curled up at the end of the day. In fact, it is on my short list for going into the week. So if you guys have any questions, any feedback, anything at all, I love hearing from you, because it helps me cater this to what you guys want to see and hear. So going into the watch list for the week, we do have a bunch of longs and a bunch of shorts. I am still more short biased. I'm just feeling like the shorts are more predictable in this market. The longs tend to be failing, especially, the first day spike up will fail many times because a lot of people are shorting them in this marketplace. So going long, I do have Kroger, which you can see on the chart. It did have a massive gap down. It sold off quite a bit, and now it seems like it's curling up a little bit. So I'm actually liking it more on the long side If it can break out of its resistance point of 2280, I feel like the support is around 2250, sorry. And then at 2280, it looks like it will go ahead and continue to try to fill that gap. We have SYY, which is looking very oversold. It did have a massive sell-off, and it looks like with the 55% short volume, which is roughly 2.33 million from Friday's volume, it looks like it could have a nice bounce to it. So I would put the resistance at 50 and support at 49.50. LBio looks like it breaks out above 750. It will be good long. For support, I would look for 680. SB, it does need some more volume to it. However, it did have a 64% short volume on Friday. If it can break above 250, it looks like it will break out nicely, and a support of 220. SNSS looks like it has a nice gap fill to it as well. It needs some volume behind it. If it can break above 328, you can see it should fill the gap nicely, and a support of 310. CHGG as well looks nice for a long, as it is reaching a resistance point of $13. If it can break above $13, it looks like it will go ahead and run. Many times you'll see that it will either double top or it will break out. So I would definitely watch that 13 resistance point, 1265 for support, and it does have 438,000 short from Friday's volume. So watch that, see if it's able to break above 13 before that key volume level of 438,000. If it does, I think it will squeeze a bit and continue up to the upside, as the momentum on the chart is quite upward moving. For our shorts, like I said, we do have CARA with a resistance point of 2350 and a support of 2170, then down to 2126 and 2070. So some downside there definitely. We have PTLA. If it can break 58, I would stay away as a resistance level, but I do believe it has support down to 55, 54, and then 52. So it's got more to the downside, I believe, than upside, as it is overbought on the chart. SNCR, that was on my watch list for pre-market on Friday. It wasn't able to gap up. It does have a fair amount of short volume to it, but I do think people are more short biased to it at the moment. So it is at 17 for resistance and 1605 for support. RWLK as well, a penny stock. If it can break out of 250, I would stay away, but it does look like it would be a short below 230. BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, if that can, I believe it will have a bounce up to about 30, potentially higher, because it is showing oversold, and then drop down if it breaks through the support level of 29.40. As always, guys, carpe profit, seize those profits one at a time. Have a great week ahead and trade smart.